Sunday, 4:30 p.m, Enzo Maresca's Chelsea take the trip to 3 Point Lane to take on Ange Postecoglou, mates. Tottenham Hotspur. And this is a big one. This is one I'm excited for. And if we win this game, I'm ready to say it. TC, Josh.
It's bloody on, mate.
It's
bloody on.
The bloody title charge is on.
The bloody challenge of the title is on.
What do we reckon, mate?
I'm going to do the rest of the podcast in Aussie if you don't mind.
Mate, I absolutely don't mind
Do
that
you
at all.
love it, mate? We got a lot of Aussie viewers. We're watching you over there.
1989. You know what that's from?
No.
In-Betweeners.
I don't know, mate.
Brett Clements.
Oh, God, yeah.
When he gets that deed in the In-Betweeners and he goes,
Yeah.
Australian driving licence. And he goes, you betcha, cobber. 1989.
Fair play to him for remembering that date, because I can imagine Jay just completely
There
forgetting
you go.
that in
There
the
you
moment.
go.
You love
Mate.
In-Betweeners. Didn't put it in your top TV shows, though, did you, Joey?
Oh, top TV shows. We ranked that on the Joey and Josh podcast. It is linked in the description. Make sure you head over there for some classic content. We've actually dropped a video last night where we speak about a global phenomenon in terms of reality TV royalty.
We didn't. We actually talked about the 2000s last night.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, we actually talked about the 2000s.
Oh, I thought it was the Big Brother episode.
We didn't get it up that quickly.
No, we spoke about growing up in the 2000s and why everything was better growing up in the 2000s. So if you did grow up in the 2000s and you want to watch that video, it's linked in the description right now.
Yeah.
But let's speak about Chelsea, which was a big part of why growing up in the 2000s was so good.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Because from 1990 onwards, how many years, bearing in mind we played them twice a season, every season, how many years did it take Spurs to record a win against Chelsea? Not a win at Stamford Bridge, just a win against Chelsea from 1990 onwards.
I don't think they ever have.
It took them 16 years. We went 16 years from 1990 onwards in the league without losing against Tottenham Hotspur.
They probably didn't deserve to win that game. They ended up winning, really.
There you go. There you
Probably
go.
cheated.
Can't remember it, but yeah, fact. Mate, how good is it being a Chelsea fan at the moment?
It's actually fucking decent, isn't it? We actually have a good laugh now, don't we? We're back.
We always had a good laugh.
Are we back?
Oh, we're back.
Are Chelsea back?
Have you seen that scene at the end of The Hangover when he goes, "We're back"?
Yeah, we
We're
are back.
That's us
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
that is us.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you know what? The fans at Southampton, they were fucking loving it. They were doing the Maresca chant. That's come out now, by the way. Can you sing the Enzo Maresca chant?
What was it? Enzo Maresca.
Yeah, probably something like that.
Well, you know my chant, don't you?
Yeah, go on.
He's running down the right. He's fucking dynamite. His first name is Pedro and his last name's Neto. Pedro Neto, baby.
I thought, by the way, when he was doing that,
Pedro Neto. Oh, sorry, go on.
I thought you were going to add Joey Knight in there, by the way, because that would have rhymed even better.
Yeah.
Going down the left, going down the right. It's
Listen.
got to be Joey Knight.
I was in the pub the other day with Matty Dav, and I told him that chant, and I said, "You got to get it going, mate," because the Cole Palmer one, Matty Dav started that. So
I know. Do you know what? He's a lyrical genius,
Wouldn't it
Matty
be
Dav.
interesting to know, like, who started One Man Went to Mo?
Who started Sam Dalabonna? He's got lovely long hair.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Cucurella.
Who started that? Was that you? Because you love him that much.
Cucurella, he drinks Estrella, he eats paella, his hair's fucking massive. Speaking of Cucurella, I pissed a few people off, haven't I?
Yeah, you did. So why did you do that? Because it wasn't fair. He
said-
didn't mean to pull his hair.
I
Joey.
said that the Southampton player, I forgot his name
Jack
now.
Stevens.
Jack Stevens, I said that I wouldn't have sent him off and I'd have sent him to prison. And that really riled a few people online. I got a lot of hate today about that.
I mean, GBH, wasn't it, really? If you think
Yeah.
about it, that's exactly what it is. It's a disgrace.
GBH are the old luscious locks. So,
Yeah.
end of the
Gross. What does GBH even stand for? You should know this.
day, grievous bodily harm. ABH,
Grievous bodily hair.
ABH, I think's aggravated bodily.
Yeah. ASBO. What does that stand for?
ASBO, antisocial behaviour order.
HMS.
Her Majesty's.
HMP, isn't it?
HMP,
Actually,
yeah. Her Majesty's
yeah.
prison.
Wandsworth is your favourite.
Yeah. for obvious reasons.
No, it's fucking good to be a Chelsea fan, mate. I'm loving it. We had fun when we were shit, but now we're having a lot more fun than we're actually half decent.
Not only are we having a lot more fun, I'm just so smug.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just so smug. Do you know what I mean?
And the thing is, as well, right, is you and I were sat at this. We've sat on the kickoff table. We've been sat on every piece of content that we do, and we'd be saying, "It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's coming home.
It's going to come good."
It is actually going to come good. By the way, can I ask you one question? Does it count a treble if we win the Conference League, the FA Cup, and the Premier League?
Yes.
There you go. That's your answer.
Yeah. And
would it count?
Do you know why? Do you know why it's the best treble?
Go on.
Because no one's ever done it before.
We've won it all. If we win that Conference League, do you know what? If we just won the Conference League, I'd be chuffed with that this season. To be fair,
what would you be? If we, from where we are right now, and I understand there's twists and turns to come, but fuck me, we're showing a lot of character.
Yeah.
We're really doing well. And one bad result will get the media on our back, but it won't change us. We've lived through the hard times, and we very much know that we're now entering the good times. Enzo Maresca knows it. He thinks that Chelsea, for 5 to 10 years, are going to be a dominant force in English football. I fucking love hearing stuff like that. You know what I mean? Pochettino didn't even know whether he was going to be here next season. Enzo Maresca said we're going to be a dominant force for 5 to 10 years. I absolutely love quotes like that. But what would you actually, being a realistic Chelsea fan, be satisfied with this season? Would you be satisfied with 4th spot and a Conference League win?
Yes. To be fair, I absolutely would. Because the thing is, the context around that is, if you'd offered me that at the start of the season, I would have bit your hand off.
Do you know what I am? I'm a bit of a
Smug.
body language behavioural expert. And do you know what you just did?
I blinked.
No, you went, as you said it, you went, yes. And that tells me whether you're conscious of this or not, you wouldn't.
I would. And I blinked then as well. Whenever someone blinks as they're saying the answer, that is a
They've
classic.
Just killed someone.
That is a classic tell. And I just did it. I felt myself doing it.
You know why?
Because I wouldn't be happy with it.
Mate.
Would you, seriously, would you not be happy with that?
Finish above Arsenal.
That's where you'd be happy. But you'd be happy if we got top 4.
I'd be buzzing if we got top 4. That's what I thought we'd do.
Yeah.
But now, my thing is like, finish above Arsenal.
Well, Arsenal are akin now to Stoke City, aren't they? That's all that Arsenal have got now.
In what way?
They are playing agricultural football, Arsenal. Do you remember Arsenal back in the day used to play tiki-taka? They used to play some of the most beautiful football you've ever seen. They used to pass it around. They'd score goals only from inside the 6-yard box.
Remember that Jack Wilshere goal?
Yeah, that was good. The Giroud assist.
Yeah.
Yeah, unreal. But Arsenal now, they literally only score from set pieces. And have you seen, there's a bit of a groundswell at the moment basically saying that Arsenal are shit and they'd much rather Chelsea or Liverpool win the league because we actually play half-decent football.
Half decent?
Well, in comparison.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. We play fucking unreal football.
3/4 decent football.
3/4 decent.
I'd say.
Pint half full, half empty. Whatever
you
want to go with.
There you go.
We are playing the best football we have played in years.
We're playing the best football in the Premier League at the minute.
Yeah.
We're playing, without a shadow of a doubt, we are playing the best football in the Premier League. And as I say, like, even yesterday, mate, do you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
We weren't even great against Southampton. But we are prolific when it comes to that front line. And I do look at Chelsea and I think, okay, I think that we maybe might need a defender. I think that maybe we might need to promote from within in one area of the pitch, and we're going to get onto this and speak about this. By the way, I haven't even introed this video. This is the Joey Knight podcast. Favourite guest on it, Joey Knight. Second best guest on it, Josh Aveste. In fact, I'll take it back. First best guest on it, Josh Aveste, the big dog. And subscribe if you're not already. Make sure you're doing so. It was 35% of you regular watchers weren't subscribed. We've got it down to 30%. Let's get it down to 25.
Let's get it down to 0.
Let's get it down to 0.
Yeah.
Not too much to ask for, is it?
No, I mean, look at all this content he provides.
But either way, we are going to be giving our team sheets. We're going to preview Spurs as the opposition today, and we're even going to give score predictions for this match at 3 Point Lane. Now, what I want to know from you, Mr. Aveste, is what do you make of Spurs' start to this Premier League season? Are they progressing under Ange Postecoglou, mate?
I don't think they are, mate. And in fact, we were talking on the kickoff a couple of weeks ago, and I said very clearly on that I think Ange is going to be under immense pressure very soon. And I actually think I said that he could lose his job before the end of the year. The reason why I say that is if you look at the last 12 months, you know what, I like to look at that annual table, right? And you look at where Spurs are in that annual table, I think they're 7th. I think they're 7th in that annual table.
Sounds about right.
I think they're about 12 points off where we are.
Where are we? 4th?
We're 4th.
Yeah,
We're
sounds
4th.
about right.
And what's interesting, I think up until last night, Arsenal, City and Liverpool were all on exactly the same points in the calendar year.
Really?
Yeah. But obviously Liverpool dropped 2 now, and City and Arsenal got more. So Spurs have not been good for a long time. Ultimately, mate, the story of Spurs are Ange Postecoglou comes in, he has a wonderful start with them, gets them right at the top of the league. They have that injury crisis, and then since then, they've not really been that good, have they? They've got almost as many losses as they have wins this season.
Mate, I mean, I called it on our Steak Mate prediction. Obviously, we do the prediction every single week. You'll hear a bit more about that in a minute. But after they went and thrashed Man City 4-0, I called it, didn't I?
You did.
I said, I absolutely guarantee you that Spurs will now go and drop points in their following match. And what did they do, Josh?
They absolutely dropped 2 points in their following
They dropped
match.
2 fucking points, mate.
Yeah.
2 points too many playing the high line.
And look, Fulham are a decent team, but you know when you want to be challenging for Champions League, you need to be beating the team.
You got to be beating the likes of
You
Fulham.
really do.
You really do.
Yeah.
We done double over them last season.
Easy.
Not too much to ask Spurs to get a win against them. But either way, they couldn't. They're patchy. They're inconsistent. When they look good, my God, they look great sometimes, Spurs. I will admit that they do. But it's just too inconsistent. And listen, this isn't a gloating thing because this is coming from someone who's had to live the last 2.5 years as a fan of a club that have been massively inconsistent. But Spurs just take the biscuit, mate. And actually, we've only got the 1 loss in our last 11 league games with Spurs. We played on Wednesday night. Spurs play on Thursday night. And they actually play about 45 minutes later than we kicked off our match. So we're going to have a advantage in terms of recovery time on them. And speaking of recovery, we know that Spurs are a team that are going through a bit of an injury crisis at the moment.
I would say bit is an understatement. They're
Well,
going for a complete injury
They are
crisis.
in terms of how many they've actually got out. But in terms of key names, I'm looking at Vicario, I'm looking at Van der Ven, Benteke, Richarlison. He was bought in for quite a lot of money. Can you name me any more?
Solanke and Romero.
Yeah, but Solanke could possibly be back
mean-
for the Chelsea game.
It's touch and go.
And Romero could possibly be back.
Yeah, I think Romero is more likely.
But those ones that I've just named are definitely out.
Yeah.
Not only that, mate, if Romero's not back, they're going to be playing fucking Ben Davies at centre-back.
It's bad.
He doesn't belong anywhere on a football pitch. Definitely not centre-back, does
I
he?
think they've just given him a contract extension.
Nah, he's all right. He's a good lad. Where'd he come from?
Swansea.
There you go.
Was it actually true?
There you go.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Welsh
yeah.
player,
Nailed
obviously
it.
coming from Swansea.
He's a bit like PD. Do you name a bit like Usher?
Yeah, I love
Welsh
it.
accent, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I love it. Well
there you
done.
go.
You have to quote Little Britain to get into it, do you?
yeah. That's not Little Britain.
Oh,
That was
was it
X
not?
Factor.
Oh,
That was
fuck.
X Factor.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
gives a chance, Simon. He's a bit like PD. Do you name a bit like Usher?
Oh, I
It's
remember
them two
that
that sing
clip.
Mysterious
You
Girl.
sent that to me.
Whoa, no doubt you move so fine.
Did they have the Welsh accent when they were singing it?
I don't know. Can't really remember. And when he sings on his own, he's a bit like Rick Astley. Right.
That's very Little Britain, that is.
Yeah.
That's very Mafanway, that is.
My fan way, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't make that no more, can ya? Favourite ever Chelsea Spurs
Can I
match?
give you the obvious one?
Yeah.
It's the Battle of the Bridge.
It's the Battle of the Bridge.
Yeah, the obvious one, because that Hazard goal was just... That's up there in his best goals ever.
That meant everything to me.
That meant-
And for context, right?
they should have won the league.
We finished 10th that
Yeah,
season.
but they should have won that.
They were odds on to win the league, and they managed to not even finish second. They finished third, didn't
Oh,
they?
fuck, I didn't remember they finished
Didn't
third.
Arsenal tip them to second, didn't
Oh, my
they?
God. Complete bottlers. Talk about
Oh.
Arsenal being bottlers. That was probably one of the most bottle job seasons.
It's
you
set
can
in the
have.
water in North London, mate. There
Yeah.
honestly is.
Yeah, Arsenal got kits now in the shape of bottles. So
There
it
you
tells
go.
everything you need to know.
But obviously, yeah, Eden Hazard popping up with that goal. I think back to some Spurs matches that I was at. What year would it have been? Couldn't even tell you.
Who was
White Hart
playing?
Lane. White Hart Lane.
Yeah.
We rocked up to White Hart Lane and we beat them 2-0. You know what my memory's like, mate. Not only could I tell you the goal scorers, I could probably tell you starting lineup.
You know everything. Go on then, tell me the starting lineup because then we'll figure out the year.
All right. Oh, this is hard. This is actually hard. Someone should get in the... Find it out, right? It was the first Mourinho season. We won 2-0. Lampard scored, and one of the goals he scored as I was walking out the ground. So one of the goals must have been like 88th minute or something.
So 4:05 then, if it's Jose's first season.
Yep. And the lineup that day was...
Check.
It was Czech. It was... Glenn Johnson. It was...
It's got to be JT and Carvalho then, hey?
It was JT, but I got a feeling William Gallas played, you know?
That would make sense. That would make sense. But he was a CB, was he?
Yeah, I think he played as a centre-back.
And then Ashley on the left.
No, Ashley hadn't signed by then. I feel like on the left it might have been... I feel like Paulo Ferreira might have played on the left that day or something.
If you're getting this right,
for some reason, I feel like Smertin played that. Mate, I've got a photographic memory.
You really
I feel like
do.
Smertin played that day. Lampard, Duff. Was it Robin or Joe Cole? I think it was Robin. And Google it. 2004 White Hart Lane. It was a 2-0 and Lampard scored both goals. Yeah, Joe Cole definitely played. That game.
Frank Lampard pen 39. Was it that game?
He did score a penalty. Did he then score again late on in that game?
He did. So
have I got the team completely wrong?
You got it pretty much right.
No way. Have I actually?
Pair checking goal. Glenn Johnson at right back. William Gallas, Paulo Ferreira and John Terry at the back. You had Alexis Smertin, Claude Makelele and Frank Lampard in the middle. You said who on the wings?
My front line.
Who was your wingers?
I said my front line was Duff, Robin, Drogba. No, Duff, Joe Cole, Drogba it was. I think.
Say it again. Say it again.
Robin, Drogba, Joe Cole.
It was Duff, Robin, and Drogba.
Was it?
Yeah. So your gut was right.
Sure Joe Cole played.
No, your gut was right.
No, Joe Cole played.
Joe Cole came on in the 80th minute.
Oh.
Along with two other subs. One of your favourite players came on.
Kesman.
Striker. We talked about him in the top 20.
Idiger Johnson.
And another midfielder who is a no-name midfielder.
A no-name midfielder
Yeah.
from that time?
Yeah.
I don't sound out of order. Was it Jeremy?
No.
Thiago?
I would say more no-name than both of those.
Who was a no-name midfielder?
Come on.
That wasn't Alexis Smertin.
I'll tell you where he's from.
Go on.
He's from the Czech Republic.
Yuri Jarosik.
Nailed it. I have to say, right, I've never been more impressed with someone's long-term memory than you. Like, you've been punched in the head a lot.
And can I just say, because there'll be people like the hardcore know, they just know, but there'll be people that would think that I've researched that or whatever.
You haven't. You honestly haven't.
Have
you
I?
haven't. I can't
what about
believe
that
you pulled
Newcastle
this
game
out.
we were talking about when I went, for some reason, I feel like it was snowing and,
and
we
you
looked at the
it was
pictures
snowing.
and it was, yeah.
I watched the highlights for it. I can't
yeah.
believe that. In fact, maybe we'll do a Christmas episode. We'll do a Christmas quiz and you have to pull some knowledge out from that.
That'd
People
be good.
love that.
From that era, I could do a lot of them. Also, another one, when they did finally get in their new stadium, we rocked up there. Tommy Tuchel's boys. Can't even remember all three goal scorers for that one, but I do know that Thiago Silva scored, Rudiger scored. I can't remember the third, but it was in a 3-0 win.
Was it?
It might have been Kovacic, you know. It might have been Kovacic.
21 or 21? Okay.
I think it was Kovacic, maybe, but it was definitely Thiago Silva and Rudiger. So
it wasn't Kovacic, it was another midfielder.
Was it Kante?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But before we get into all that, have you ever wanted to chat with the big dog and I directly? Well, this is the time, because Steakmate are letting you lot chat to me and the fan favourite right now. But what is Steakmate, you may ask? Well, this review on the App Store can explain it far better than I ever could. This app is as if Bet365 and Snapchat had a baby. Great sportsbook and just a great way to chat to the lads. But how does it all all work? Well, all you need to do is click the link in the description and download the StakeMate app, but you do need to remember that you need to be 18 years old or over and living inside the UK. Then you have to go through the sign-up process, which literally takes 2 minutes. Once you're logged in, at the bottom of the page, hit groups, and then at the top left-hand side of the page, hit invite code. The invite code is JOEYK, all capitals. Then once you've hit enter, you will officially be part of the Joey Night squad. You can feel free to ask questions, connect with other channel viewers, and even suggest your bets for us to consider. And a lot of you are already in there right now, and we've already been chatting away, so if you're not, you are missing out on a lot of fun. In fact, let's have a look at what some of you lads have been putting bets on already with StakeMate. And as you can see here, Tyler and Majid have already slapped some of their winning bets into the chat. Tyler has already won over 150 quid, and Majid has already won over 60 quid. So I think what I'm going to have to do is start creating a little leaderboard for you guys. But remember, you can copy all of these bets yourself. So every week I slap my own acca in and I put that in the chat, and this is what I am going for this weekend. Right, so starting off, I think that Aston Villa are going to get back to winning ways. I think that Newcastle will get the away win at Brentford. I do think that Ruben Amorim's Man United are going to drop points and draw to Nottingham Forest. And then obviously, it goes without saying, Chelsea will be coming away with the win from 3 Points Lane. And by sticking just a fiver on that at the time of recording, that will return me over 135 quid. And then as always, I'm going to stick that one in the chat, and you lads can decide whether you want to copy it or go with your own bet. And not only can you chat with myself and the big dog, the good news keeps on coming, because when you sign up to StakeMate for the first time, you will get £20 in free bets when you bet just a tenner. And they're offering even more bonuses as you play. So hit the link in the description now, download StakeMate today, and remember to use my group invite code JOEYK. Please remember, you must be over 18 and living inside the UK, and most importantly, we all need to remember to gamble responsibly. Speaking of team sheets, should we get into our team sheet for this game? Because there were 7 changes through the week, and when I first looked at that Southampton team sheet, I thought, Enzo, Maresca, runabout, not Fernandez. Enzo, you've done too much here. You're underestimating Southampton, because I thought Southampton were a decent side. Because obviously, look, Liverpool were only able to beat them by the 1 goal, and they went behind at a time in that match. Arsenal went behind against them, and they managed to get the 2 goals against them. You know, no one's really beat them that comfortably. But Chelsea, 5 goals, just
Chelsea's
a 5.
B team.
Just a
Chelsea's
5.
B team.
B team, really.
Yeah.
And how B team are we going with this now? On screen right now, you can see our starting lineup. We'll quickly talk you through it. We've gone Sanchez. We have gone Caicedo as the inverting right back, with Benoit Badiashile, Levi Colwill and Cucurella in that back three. Lavia partnering the resurgent Enzo Fernandez, who is absolutely making me eat my words when I was saying that out of the 3, he was probably the weakest out of him, Caicedo and Lavia, because, oh my God, he is showing me exactly what I wanted to see from him, Enzo Fernandez. And I just need to hold, I've done it already, but I need to hold my hands up now and say that he is proving me so wrong. Do I think I was wrong when I gave the criticism of him? I don't actually think I was. I don't think that he was producing the numbers of goals and assists that I would like him to, but he's clearly a watcher of the podcast, and my God, this version of Enzo is absolutely prolific. JOEYK, a former Spurs man on that right-hand side. The big dog, Cole Palmer through the middle. We're going Pedro Neto on the left-hand side. And it's got to be Nicholas Jackson up front.
What a team sheet. That now, really, when you're looking at it, is the best starting 11 that we can be putting out. And in fact, without Wesley Fofana, maybe the goalkeeper, I think that is the best starting 11 we've got.
Well, let's speak about the goalkeeping situation, because we have picked Robert Sanchez there, right?
Yeah.
And we've picked Robert Sanchez knowing what Enzo Maresca said, which is that Robert Sanchez will be starting this game.
Yes.
There
will be 10 players plus Robert Sanchez.
Do you agree that Robert Sanchez should be starting this game?
I don't think you can drop him after the last performance. That's what I'll say. But
Can you drop Jorgensen after the last performance?
I think Jorgensen's last 2 games have proven why we signed him in the first place. And I do think
good, man.
There's been a lot of doubters on Jorgensen. A lot of people saying, we still need another goalkeeper. We don't think he's good enough. We need Mike Penders to come in and save us. We need to bring back Petrovic. Ultimately, I do think now the director of football, we need to say well done to them, because they did offload. They offloaded the goalkeeper they knew they could offload, didn't they? Really. Yeah. And actually, I think if you look at the performances of both goalkeepers right now, they probably are better than what Petrovic would have been able to do. Is that harsh?
I think it is a little bit harsh, yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people agree with you on that, by the way. But I do think it was the right decision.
When does that decision eventually get made? Does it eventually get made? Is it inevitable? Is Jorgensen going to displace Sanchez this season? Because shot-stopping ability, I'm now seeing more from Jorgensen than I am Sanchez. I can definitively say that playing out from the back, I see Jorgensen as being stronger. However, I'm basing that on Conference League games and a game against a team that are bottom of the Premier League. So potentially, I could say that there were some nervy moments against Newcastle in the Cup. They were bang up for that game, and Jorgensen didn't look great in that game. So it is hard to judge, isn't it? And ultimately, a goalkeeper isn't really a position that you rotate that much, is it?
A shot's a shot, though, isn't it? If the ball is coming at you 100 miles an hour, whether it comes from the boot of Mo Salah or whether it comes from the boot of a Cameron Archer, it doesn't really matter. Maybe Salah gets it a little bit more in the corner. But ultimately, Jorgensen still has to make those saves. And he made like a wonderful save at the start of the Southampton game. He kept us in the Heidenheim game. We would have, let's be honest, mate, we could have lost that game against Heidenheim if it wasn't for Jorgensen. Obviously, definitely the man of the match in that game. So, look, I do think the point will come. If you ask me when I think that point will be, I do think it will actually end up being now the end of the season.
Really?
I actually think the way that it's gone and the rotation that's happened, because ultimately I do feel that Jorgensen has put enough good performances in now to warrant that first place, and he's still sticking by Sanchez. I think they'll look at the goalkeeper situation again in the summer, and they'll look at the options of who we can offload. Petrovic will be the first one to go, he'll be sold. And then I think they will look at Sanchez's position and go, do we need Sanchez again, or should we just persist with Jorgensen? And then they'll go from there.
There's another notable exclusion from our starting lineup, and that is the main man, Malo Gusto. Has Malo Gusto been dropped? Has he been rested? Or is he a victim of the fact that we really want those three boys in the team together in terms of Caicedo, Lavia and Enzo? For me, it's a decision out of Malo Gusto and Romeo Lavia. Is that fair?
I think that is fair in terms of the choice. And you've got to look at who was on the bench against Southampton, because ultimately that will be who starts this game. And Romeo was there. He didn't get on, did he?
No. And I think the battle in midfield, listen, they're massively weakened, Spurs, at the moment, but I think that battle in midfield is one that we've got to make sure we're winning. And I think that having the likes of Enzo, the way he's playing, deep line playmaker, the way he's playing at the moment, and Lavia there to cut things out gives you a lot of solidity. And I tell you what, if those boys fell, then from either side having a Caicedo or a Cucurella coming at you, it's going to be very, very hard for you to get anything really in that middle of the park if you have those players that I've just named there. And Spurs going to be reliant upon getting it out to those wide men. But when I look at the injuries they've got and the players that they have available, look, they have some good players, but at the same time, if they play that high line, it could just be
a bloodbath.
It could be.
I mean, look, look at the data from last season. You know, we scored so many goals in that.
And that was a team that didn't understand each other, didn't even know each other, and hadn't even clicked together there.
Very early on.
So now look at us free flowing with the telepathy at times that we've got.
Really, Tottenham are the best team that a Chelsea team in this system can play, because they've got all of that space in behind. They don't track those wide runners. And ultimately, we've got players like Enzo Fernandez who can put passes through. I think that is a key reason why we have to have pace on the wings in this game. And that's a reason why we have to talk about actually the third omission that from this team, really, mate, is my boy, Mykhailo Mudryk.
Mykhailo Mudryk, yeah.
I think this is one of those games that Mykhailo Mudryk could shine in. And the reason why I'm saying that is, imagine Enzo gets the ball. we know that they're weak in the centre-back area. We know really their wing-backs haven't been particularly amazing either. Pedro Porro, he's great going forward. I'm not particularly enthused about him going backwards. Udogie hasn't been that good recently either. I want to see Enzo pick up the ball and I want to see him ping it over the top of them, and I want fast wingers on the side. So I do think there's a case for Mykhailo Mudryk starting this game, especially considering he didn't start against Southampton, and Pedro Neto being on the other side.
Do you not think, though, when we look at what Enzo Maresca has opted to do in the important matches so far, he's almost gone with conflicting styles on his wing. So on one wing, he'll have the likes of a Noni Madueke who wants it to feet, who wants to dribble at players, who wants to take them on and ultimately probably get a shot off rather than assist. And on the other side, he'll have someone that can burst in behind, can break in behind. So I often think that it's unlikely, I'm not saying you never get it, but it's unlikely you get Sancho on one wing and Madueke on the other. And it's also unlikely that you'd have Mudryk on one wing and Neto on the other.
Yeah.
I think you have a Sancho or a Madueke, or a Neto, or a Mudryk. That's the way I kind of feel about the winger position at the moment. Would you agree with me on that?
I get that. What I would say is, overwhelmingly, I don't feel this is the kind of game that I'd be putting Sancho in. Like, I want Sancho to be sort of playing in the low block games.
He'll feature in this match.
He'll feature, but I'm just saying
Sancho.
start, I should say.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be starting him in this game, but I do think that the pace is the kryptonite of Spurs. And so I think there's no argument to say it. But saying that, I'm very happy for Noni to be starting. I'm very happy for Pedro to be on the other side. Although Pedro's better on the right, isn't he?
You know what, though? You said there about Udogie falling off a little bit because he looked good when he first came in. And 1v1, we're going to find a bit out about Noni Madueke here because he was quite good 1v1 Udogie at first, wasn't he? I know
he was, but he's dropped off his form. A lot of Spurs fans were saying he's getting on the verge of being dropped.
We're gonna have a score prediction in a minute, but I'll give a little spoiler here. And I'm not just saying it because he scored the other night. I feel like Madueke's going to score in this match.
I feel like he will as well.
Do you have that feeling? Can you feel it? It's a
Well,
sort of tingling sensation. It's almost from the bollocks upwards
It's
all
a
the way.
beautiful,
Yeah.
It's a beautiful feeling.
Yeah.
I wish I could feel it every single day, every
Yeah.
single minute of the day, to be
Yeah.
fair. Did you see what Enzo Maresca said about Noni?
No, what did he say? Oh, he doesn't like the way he trains us. Eh?
Enzo Maresca had a very good sort of soliloquy all about Noni Madueke. He basically said that he's not training hard enough, and there are moments when he scores, he then sort of eases off the accelerator and calms down. And what he wants to do is, he says, Noni, I'm so happy with him, but he can be so much better than he even is now. And that's, when we talk about mentality of managers, that is a beautiful mentality to have. He's going, he's fucking brilliant. He's playing well, but he can do even better than he's doing. And I do feel that Noni is the type of character that you need to you really need to push him. Because Noni could be world class, but he's got to go for it.
I honestly, I know I'm just on the Maresca hype train at the moment, and I'll be on it for a long time because he's not going to let me down. But I just think, the way that Enzo Maresca deals with the media, the way he approaches things from a psychology aspect when he speaks about the players and whatnot, I just feel like he can't help but play a masterclass every time he is interviewed and every time he's put in a press conference in front of that camera. He says the right things. He knows how to tap in to players, look at Eric Ten Hag, for example. And when Enzo Maresca came in, people were saying all this stuff about, he's going to be a disciplinarian. Look how it went for Eric Ten Hag. Well, no, does that not just come down to the fact that Ten Hag was shit?
I don't
Do you know
think,
what I mean?
I don't think in the traditional sense of a disciplinarian he is that, though. He's not a guy that's sort of slapping people on the wrist, giving them loads of fines. I think he's the kind of guy that will bring you into the office. He'll go, look at this clip, look at this data. You were shit in this moment. You could do way better in this. Your training's been crap. I think he's the kind of guy that's just a straight talker. And a straight talker is not a disciplinarian. It's just telling them how it is.
On the small sample size we have so far, where's he rank? Managers, Premier League.
Where's he rank in terms of the Italian managers? That's an interesting debate to have, isn't it? Where does he rank in terms of what? In terms of overall Premier League managers for Chelsea?
No. In terms of the 20 managers or 21 we've had so far or whatever it is now in the Premier League, where's Enzo Maresca rank? He's got to be top
5.
3.
No, he's not top 3.
Who's better?
Jose.
No, in the Premier League right now.
Oh, in the Premier Division. Sorry, I thought you meant the managers that we've had in the Premier League era.
God, no, he'd have to win a title to be
against the managers Well, we don't. Slot's a bit unknown, isn't he? You don't really know how good he actually is.
He's doing well.
He's doing well. Would you have him in the top 3 then? Would you?
You'd probably have to have Slot, Pep in the top 3.
Yeah.
And I would say that when you look at Arsenal's sort of how many year project is it now?
He's 4.5 years in.
He's 4.5 years in. Yeah. Maresca's about 4.5 months in. We're above him in the league.
I can't. By the way, that time's flown. I can't believe he's been there for that long.
I honestly think we'll finish above Arsenal this season.
I can't believe you were so confident, but fair enough. I rate it.
I think we will.
I
I think
rate it.
these lot think we will. I think the
Really?
hardcore think we will, yeah.
Really, fucking. You convinced me.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, Arteta is a good manager.
Yeah.
But he hasn't won anything. So
No.
one FA Cup doesn't count.
There you go.
Doesn't
And
count.
Maresca has won something.
What's that? Participation trophy.
No, he won championship title.
I know. I'm winding you up.
There you go.
I'm winding you up.
About the same.
To be fair, it probably is. The Championship's a difficult league.
There you go.
So what? So you're saying third?
Yeah, third, yeah.
So you would put a Slot above him, would you?
Well, for the time being, but let's see how things play out.
Because if I'm going to be really controversial, I'd probably go Pep then Maresca.
Can I have from you, right, before we get a score prediction, if you could take one Spurs player, because I think if we did a combined 11, mate, I don't think fucking anyone really makes it in there. But if you could take one Spurs player right now, who are you having? And is this an easy option?
I wouldn't take any of them.
No, come on.
I don't need them.
Come on. Gun to your head. You've got to take a Spurs player.
I don't need them.
Looking at our
No,
team.
I do know who the answer is, and I know you're thinking the same one. I'd go Van de Ven.
Van de Ven, yeah. I thought I was going to say Son for a minute.
No,
Don't need Son.
I think there's. Do you know
Son's
what?
a great player, numbers wise, absolutely brilliant.
No,
But
he's
for
at the
right
end of
now,
his career.
and obviously because of the Fofana injury and whatnot, you know, if we had Van de Ven in there next to Levi Colwell, fuck me, that
It would be good. Van de Ven
rock
is
solid,
fucking
wouldn't
good.
it?
Yeah, but he's also always injured. I don't know if I want another
Proof it
Chilwell
well
player.
then, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it probably was. There's an argument perhaps to say that Maddison would be in the conversation, but he wouldn't get in our team. But you have to say he's probably their best technical player.
I think Kiernan Dewsbury Hall starts for Spurs.
I think he probably does.
Yeah.
I think he probably does.
There you go.
I think Cesare Castell probably does.
Yeah. And I tell you what, like Felix and them boys in Kunku, they're definitely starting for Spurs.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
either way, it just shows the depth we got. I think we need to be winning this match. And again, as I say, even if we avoid defeat, I'm happy in this match. And that's me. That sounds negative. That sounds negative, but that is me. That is me trying to cling on. Of course, I want to win.
No,
but that's
but
me trying to cling on to a bit of realism. But if we win this match, then mate, I'm gonna get carried away here.
So I just had a look because I wanted to have a look at who the other boys around us have got this weekend, right? And Liverpool have got the early kickoff at Goodison Park.
Could be points dropped. Last ever Merseyside derby at Goodison Park.
Right.
And they're just coming off the back of a 4-0 win, Everton, aren't they?
City have got Palace, so you go, they're probably going to smash them on that. Yeah. But with City's form at the moment, you don't know. And then Arsenal have got an away game on Sunday against Fulham. So that could be...
Fulham took points off from last season, didn't
Fulham
they?
That could be a draw.
Yeah.
So for me, mate, this is a game we've got to win. If we're TCs,
yeah,
then we should be winning this game. So come on then, come clean.
Score prediction. Do you know what? I think Spurs will score.
Yeah.
I think we'll score more.
Okay.
I am going for a 4-2.
4-2.
I'm going for a 4-2. I'm going a Noni Madueke goal. I'm going a Nicholas Jackson goal. And I think whoever scores the other two, Enzo Fernandez, is going to get a couple of assists in this one. It's definitely going to be Cole Palmer, isn't it? He'll score a penalty in this one.
Right,
there you go. What are you going with?
I'm going to go 3-1. I reckon they score first. And then I think Cole Palmer will get the first goal. And I think that Nicholas Jackson will get the second goal. And I think that Cole Palmer will score a penalty.
Either way, cannot wait for this one. Let us know your score predictions in the comment section down below, and also make sure you are subscribed to Joey and Josh. The nostalgia growing up in the 2000s episode is linked in the description right now, so have a watch of that. I'll see you all in the next one.